China is different from other countries in the world in defining towns. In China, some look like modern cities, some look like tourist attractions, and others are featured with the village scene. In the film, we will introduce several Chinese-style small towns, as well as people living there to you. Let's share what we have heard and seen in Chinese towns. In this episode, we shall introduce 3 small towns, Luodai, Wanchun, and Meijiawu. Relatively speaking, the development of those towns is late, when they were still in the process of seeking their own development orientation, while some small towns in the eastern regions have been in the process of urbanization. However, in the process of developing themselves, more and more Chinese small towns have made good use of their own local characteristics and cultural connotations. Now, the Luodai town in Sichuan province conveys us a bustling scene every day after it becomes a quite well-known tourist attraction. Nevertheless, just 4 years ago, it was a messy and occlusive town where residents lived a common life.
小镇就大概3万人左右，他们来赶个集买点东西，所以那些场镇上的老百姓，他们卖这些东西收入也比较低，一个月能够挣上100多、200多，也就差不多了。
那会儿您大概都能收入多少？
那阵子一个月收入，哎呀，收入不到好多，一个月收入就是200、300块钱，都觉得很满足了。
Luodai people have not discovered the fact that they have a unique resource, which is the Hakka culture, with a history of a few thousand years. More than 1,000 years ago, residents of the hinterland of China left home to avoid wars and disasters and lived across China. Later, some of them lived abroad. Since they lived in new places, they have always called themselves Hakka people, considering themselves to be guests of those new places. Luodai town, an important place for China's Hakka culture, enjoys a certain reputation among Hakka people in the world.
那个时候吧，恰好呢，有一个社科院的一个专家就到了我们Luodai古镇，发现了我们这种状况，所以在这个地方就搞了很多的研究，也就提出了可以依据客家文化，然后来发展古镇的文化旅游业。这样的话，看能不能提升我们老百姓的这些收入啊，提供一些就业的机会。
The government accepted the experts' proposal and decided to develop the ancient town by relying on the Hakka culture to develop cultural tourism. It was in this period that the Chinese government encouraged the local governments with different levels to develop small towns by relying on their own conditions and advantages. Notably, the Chinese government was repeatedly emphasizing the principle of taking actions that suit local circumstances. In 2003, Luodai was selected as the place for holding a large gathering for all Hakka people in the world. It was a golden chance for the development of Luodai. The gathering would be held in 2 years. The local government decided to comprehensively protect and renovate the ancient town as soon as possible. Moreover, it issued a detailed overall planning program.
我们的规划是非常好的，一出来之后，也有一些人说，就是哎呀，反正就是一个4科会嘛，就能够把那个应付下来就可以了。但是呢，也有更多的声音说，如果我们现在按照规划，我们都缩水，比如说做成80%，那么以后的发展可能在这个80%的基础之上，又要打折扣了。所以当时我们就说，如果我们要做最好的。
In 2005, governments with different levels invested more than 70 million RMB to rehabilitate and renovate the ancient town. It only took 5 months to complete the tasks of repairing roads, renovating old houses, planting trees, and transforming pipelines. The investment brought a new life to Luodai. Granny Mao has an old house at the town, which was passed on by her ancestors. After renovation, she ran a bean starch noodle shop at the house.
政府出的钱，瓦壳子都是政府出的，加上那个门的门面那个门呐，都是政府出的。我们只是说老实话，太享受了，我们只是享受了这些。每家每户的就是。
你没有出一分钱？
没有出一分钱，都是政府给我们出的这个钱。
就是白白给您盖房子是吧？
啊，以前我们房子很烂啊，多烂，中间都要垮了的房子，就这样子把它弄好的。
Albeit Granny Mao is in her 70s, she is still open-minded. Before the town of Luodai developed, she ran a small grocery store. Until then, she had never thought well of the craft passed on by her ancestors. After the town of Luodai finished renovation, Granny Mao was surprised to find that people could make a big profit by running bean starch noodle shops.
但是我儿子说的，妈妈，我们东西拿来这个子埋没了，可惜了。我就想到，政府既然是都把我们这个房子打造出来的话，我们必须要做到我们要对得起我们罗代镇政府对我们的关心，对我们的支持。我们要打出我们罗代的品牌，这个是属于我们罗代自己的品牌。
Every morning, Granny Mao comes to her own small shop. Albeit she is in her 70s, she is in charge of the shop in person. However, Granny Mao has no bitter feeling towards running the shop.
我觉得回家就没得意思了，回家就不好耍了。你回去你自然你现在你像我们这些又不能够什么消耗，不得什么嗜好，回去不好耍。还是我觉得还是不管他怎样说，看到啥子都对，走这个生意上的这个摊子上来看到啥子都行了。
Granny Mao is in high spirit because she can make money. The small bean starch noodle shop can bring her an annual income between 300,000 and 400,000 RMB. There is another shop named by its owner, Young Ming, as Cool Bean Starch Noodles. Compared with the small shop run by Granny Mao, the shop run by Young Ming is large and modern.
伤心凉粉的吃也显示了客家人的一种流利的一个过程。你一个客家人，他是从中原嘛，流利在全世界，出来时候他很艰辛，它有酸甜苦辣的味道。伤心凉粉里面也体现这个味道。
Young Ming is one of the Hakka people. When he happened to visit Luodai, whose rich cultural atmosphere strongly attracted him, he decided to stay there. He originally intended to develop the market by using Hakka culture.
应该说我是第一个来做Luodai做客家文化的人，做客家文化的人，也是淘金，因为文化才能淘到金啊，这是他的最深的底蕴，就在文化。
However, young Ming did not run well the cool bean starch noodle shop at the beginning. He had to pour away barrels of unsold bean starch noodles. After the ancient town was renovated, more tourists came here. Young Ming grasped the chance and refurbished his shop by highlighting an atmosphere centering on the Hakka culture. At present, almost all tourists would like to have a bowl of Hakka-style noodles. Therefore, young Ming had to prepare much more Hakka-style noodles. The shop at Luodai generates about an annual revenue of 3 to 4 million RMB for him. Besides, he has opened other chain stores around the world. Granny Mao learned the knowledge of market and competition for the first time. Inspired by the business management conducted by young Ming, she was also ambitious to develop her shop big and strong. Albeit her shop is small, she plans to open chain stores out of Luodai.
我们一定要把它做好，我们一定要做出我们的品牌。好多东西哈，不能够说马马虎虎的，清洁卫生都要做好。不管在什么时候，我们都要是货真价实。
你感觉现在和以前比怎么样？
哦，当然好得多了，跟以前比就现在我简直在天上。
这个在天上。
哎，一个在天上，这个天上这个生活啊，又是说老实话太好了。这个政府国家，哎呀，说不出来，我没有想到过这么好。我现在70多岁了，我还没想到过这么好的日子。
Look at this set of commercial house, covering over 100 square meters. Granny Mao bought it 2 years ago. There are several communities at Luodai. When residents moved out of their old houses and moved into these communities, they would feel much more comfortable. Their supporting facilities have been designed in accordance with the standards of modern cities. Those communities are located at the opposite side of the ancient street. Granny Mao is one of the shop owners at Luodai. There are more than 1,000 shops in this ancient street. With bustling crowds of tourists coming here, they bring endless wealth to the ancient town. Today, the per capita disposable income earned by the residents is 14,665 RMB, above the average of the whole Chinese residents. Luodai has a unique cultural resource. Nevertheless, not all towns in Western China can be so lucky to have their own cultures. Agriculture remains the main industry in the western regions. Farmers are still the main component of the population.
中西部往往呢就是一个农业区域，农业的比重比较大。怎么样在农业基础上，就是搞好农业服务这篇文章做好。
Wanchun, a town in Wenjiang City, Sichuan Province, was once a typical agricultural town. 90% of its population live on traditional agriculture. Notably, both Luodai and Wanchun are suited in the Chengdu Plain. Like Wanchun, there are many common small towns in China's central and western regions. They have a small population. They fail to form an industrial cluster center. They do not have the basic conditions of transferring superfluous labor forces either. Nevertheless, Wanchun is a dark horse in the course of constructing such type of small towns. In 2004, Chengdu proposed the development idea of co-coordinating urban and rural areas and promoting the urban-rural integration. The first things to make the idea implemented are to have farmers change the tradition of using their own land in a traditional fragmented management structure and to make land-intensive farming a development trend. As a pilot town, Wanchun did not have a smooth transformation. In order to maximize the potential of the land, Chengdu government suggested in 2004 that the farmers give up the right to use the land and put the land use right under the government's central control. Nevertheless, Wanchun residents, who are simply farmers, live on the land for generations. Without land, they will feel at loss how to survive.
在那儿住几代人，董然哈要挪开，要搬起走，把祖祖辈辈什么东西都卖掉了，以后靠什么来生活，相当的矛盾。那时候，打架的心情都有了，反正天天把领头的书记的村长人围到，
还有人推我的膀子，这些都有。当时所以感到很寒心，要么群众不能理解。
The long-term protection of their interests is the most convincing factor for ordinary people. What they are most concerned about is how they can live steadily after losing their land. Then the town government committee, together with residents, patiently worked out a breakdown of income.
通过土地的规模流转，他每年可以得到差不多2000块钱左右的那个流转金。同时呢，大的花木业主一到这个区域来，他还要就是用我们当地老百姓的就业那个劳动力。那么他每年反过去又到他那个田里租出去以后，又在这里面打工，从那个挣钱。那么这一块呢，每年他差不多是1万块钱左右的收入。
Having known how much they can earn, residents finally realized the benefits of land-intensive farming management. Naturally, they were able to accept the government's program.
现在就光是这个土地租金就是1100多，再这加上这个又是900多，就是2000多，就基本上翻一半了嘛，翻一倍还有多了嘛。
All villages established joint stock cooperative enterprises to manage collective assets. Farmers can get dividends at the end of each year with shares held at hand. Those shares are divided in 3 forms. That is, population shares, farmer shares, and shop shares.
这土地股就是8%的。
这是你爱人的。
对。
哦，他和你是一样的。
一样的。
你儿子在这个古泉镇，他有吗？
他当时在读书就有。
也有。
因为读书他属于是还是家庭负担他，所以当时这个政策就是有他的。
政策还有对他的补助，对吧？
如果是工作以后就没有了。当时他就是说那个07年那时候还是正在读书还是。
How to maximize the effectiveness of the land after it was intensively used. ...2005 was a critical year for Wanchun. That year, the 6th Flower Expo was held in Wenjiang City. Wanchun grasped this opportunity. 2 years later, Wanchun built an aromatic amusement theme park called Guositiancheng on the basis of Flower Expo.
我们当时定位的就是把它办成永不落寞的花博会，就要打造一个集花文化的主题游乐公园。
Now it has become a very famous amusement park. Tourists come from all around China. Of course, tourists from Chengdu, the capital city of Sichuan province, account for the largest proportion.
从07年正式的开园到现在，每年是游客是700到800万人次，那么它的销售收入，是达到了4个多亿。
中央电视台一定要露个脸 ，CCTV I love you。
More importantly, Guosa Tiancheng offers local travel services industry 1,500 jobs. Zhang Pengfei, a Wanchun farmer, now has two identities. On the one hand, he is one of the small shareholders of Guosa Tiancheng. He can receive dividends every year. On the other hand, he works at Guosa Tiancheng as a logistics warehouse supervisor. He works there and earns wages.
在自己土地上面有干一些活嘛，有找一些事儿干嘛。
Zhang Pengfei told us he is just one of the local villagers who work at Guosa Tiancheng.
各部门都有，因为国际联现在是400多号，400可能40多号人，有设计制造部的，有行政部，有商管部，还有安防部，里面部门有点多。
With the improvement of infrastructure, more and more non-local enterprises have resided in Wanchun, thus providing more and more employment opportunities for local people.
那么应该说呢，这些年，老百姓应该说他的包里的钱更多了，就业的方式也基本上和我们城市的那个居民，也实现了一个无缝的对接，也像城市人一样。 过上了城市一样的生活工作，也适应了这样一个环境。
It is not just a dream for local residents to live a city life. Nevertheless, the Luodai town government has not been satisfied. In the conditions of market economy, we need to find more capital injection if we want to develop the town big and strong. The initial investment at Luodai was allocated by governments at all levels. It was used as guidance funds for the purpose of attracting non-local capitals to develop the town. We cannot depend on the guidance funds for long.
后来发展之后，旅游人数的增加已经给很多的这些投资商让他们看到了商机，看到了前景。所以这个时候呢，我们政府呢也就觉得引进市场的机制这种时机比较成熟了。所以到了在这个06年以后，我们就大量的开始做招商引资，就走市场化的路子了。
In 2006, the town government heard a piece of news that an enterprise would invest 300 to 400 million RMB in Luodai. On hearing such news, all the staff in the town government felt extremely excited. Nevertheless, it turned out to be a good news and bad news story. Why? Because the enterprise proposed a reintegration program requiring all the original inhabitants to move out of the ancient town.
那我们原来的发展，利用我们当地的客家文化来发展文化旅业，然后带动老百姓致富，给我们这个初衷就相违背了。而且我们感觉到这样一种投资方式有一点急功近利，就当下看到是可以的，但它的持久的发展力，我们感觉是有问题的。所以在班子里面呢，就反复的开会，就论证这件事情，也经过很多的挣扎。最后呢，我们也就放弃了。
The town government requires that all the enterprises to reside in Luodai should be conducive to the protection of the ancient town, as well as the improvement of the lives of local people. Also, in 2006, we accepted to cooperate with a cultural businesswoman named Xu Sarong. She has been engaged in ceramic manufacture industry. There are no ceramic materials at Luodai, as well as no skillful personnel. However, she looks well of our cultural atmosphere and strong policy support.
我觉得真正占领市场的是文化，所以当时到罗代古镇的时候，我们看中的就是它的客家文化。结果呢，得到了政府很好的支持，因为他们也欢迎这种文化产业的企业啊，不喜欢那种就说环保过不了关的，纯粹就是以那个产品来决胜市场的这种呢，就说所以大家一谈即合，而且得到那个政府很好的一个支持。
Only after a few years, Xu Sarong's company, together with the local cultural tourism industry, developed well. Initially, she opened a ceramic shop called the Merchant of Venice. In 2008, she opened another ceramic factory called New Zealand. At present, she intends to expand the factory scale and transform it into a ceramic pottery village, integrating production, sales, R&D, and leisure experience space.
我们把中国制造变成了中国创造，变成了中国设计，变成了中国文化，就是这样组成了一个我们企业的，应该说我们企业就是这个样子，跟其他的企业呢就是有一点区别，因为这个原因呢，也就跟这个古镇呢就紧紧的联系在一起了。
Many Chinese entrepreneurs have the same dream as Xu Sarong. Their dream has driven the vigorous development of China's township industry, providing a lasting impetus for the development of Chinese small towns. Since the 21st century, a large number of small towns have stood out. They rely on their natural resources, respectively. Chinese towns used to be less developed than cities, but more developed than villages. Nevertheless, some Chinese towns have now been interdependent on cities. For local residents at Wanchun and Luodai, cities are no longer their wonderful lands. They can now enjoy a colorful life without leaving home.
说老实话，现在我们这儿女同志根本就不想往外嫁。以前是这个农村的巴不得找个这个城里面的，现在不可能，现在就是说城里面的这个想户口迁到农村来都迁不进来，因为现在农民的这个生活改善啊，生活质量提高，他享受的这个待遇跟城里面也一样了，同时他的收入有些也比城里面高。
The successes of Luodai and Wanchun make many people find the hope for China's urbanization. Through constructing small towns, we can make urban and rural areas gradually integrated and change the situation of the total separation between urban and rural areas. By doing so, rural areas will easily use the nearby cities' resources and liberate their labor force. More importantly, it will weaken the issue of big city disease, which occurs in other developing countries.
太大城市它有资源承载啊、管理范围啊什么各种各样的一些问题，是吧？那么如果大家都想进大城市的话呢，也可能会造成大城市压力过大，这有一些想象不到的问题带来，可能你很多问题就很难解决。那么小城发展的话，至少可以吸纳相当多的人口，可以适当的这个使得城市呢这个均匀发展，人口均匀分布，减轻大城市的一些压力。
Many towns spring up in East China, an economically developed area in China. In the economic development, there is a dramatic increase in population and industry. Nevertheless, small towns have absorbed a number of people and formed some industrial clusters, thus reducing the pressures in big cities. Nevertheless, there is a small village called Meijiawu in the suburb of Hangzhou, the capital city of Zhejiang province. It has not stepped out of the shadow of poverty. Meijiawu is famous for an origin place of Longjing tea. In the 1950s and 1960s, Meijiawu, one of the tourist areas open to foreign guests, received hundreds of international celebrities and heads of our state.
那周恩来总理到美加乌来了5次呢，都是由我父亲接待的。说总理呢，从第1次到了美加乌以后呢，就对美加乌留了很深刻的印象。
Such a great reputation did not bring good fortune to people living at Meijiawu. People have lived on planting tea for 600 years. The village is surrounded by endless mountains. Hangzhou lies in the north of Meijiawu. However, it seems that those two places are in two different worlds. Overall, the economic level of Zhejiang is well above average of the whole country. Nevertheless, the development at Meijiawu seriously lagged behind. Until the 1990s, it did not find a good solution to make full use of tea resources at Meijiawu.
那改革开放以后呢，市场经济了，那么这个地方呢，就茶叶这么好，但是呢，交通呢又很闭塞，茶农呢这个茶叶呢出不来，那么真正需要的人呢，消费者呢他又进不去，他不知道这个渠道。
To fetch fine tea out of the mountains, Lu Jiangmei, an ambitious woman, came and sold tea in big cities. She got good returns. Not satisfied with her achievement, Lu Jiangmei opened the first franchise store selling Meijiawu produce Longjing tea in Hangzhou in 1998.
当初开这个店用“美加乌”3个字，有关部门还不同意，我就跑到技术监督局申请我们的企业标准。那么也是我们第一个就申请了美加乌龙井的一个企业标准以后呢，那么就是拿着这些资料，那么最后呢就是可以挂上美加乌龙井的这个头衔。
Lu Jiangmei knows how to use the modus operandi of the market economy when she runs her shop. Her strategic goal is to run a long-established shop. Thanks to this idea, she has gained recognition and returns from the market. Thanks to her efforts, she has set up some outlets to sell Meijiawu tea. As a result, tea farmers more or less improved their living conditions. Nevertheless, the enclosure of the environment is always the bottleneck of the development of Meijiawu. A couple of successful businessmen cannot fundamentally change the village's fate. What will happen at Meijiawu in the future? In the next episode, we shall continue to take an in-depth look at the small towns we introduced at the beginning in this episode, to see how they take advantage of their strengths on the way of marching forward.